There are times when change doesn't arrive as a decision. It arrives as a quiet shift you cannot fully explain. Not as motivation, not as a new plan, but as a subtle inner reordering already in motion. This is how the new codes from source often enter. Not as information you need to learn, but as frequency your system begins to recognize. You may notice it in small, honest ways. A sudden need for silence, a deeper sensitivity to other people's energy, a feeling that the old routines no longer fit, a tiredness that rest doesn't fully resolve. Not because something is wrong, but because your inner field is changing its rhythm. Integration can feel unfamiliar because the mind looks for explanation. It wants a clear reason, a label, a sequence. But Source does not speak through mental structure. It speaks through alignment. And when alignment begins, the heart often recognizes it before the mind can name it. Those of us who work within the emotional field of the heart, known as the Pleiadians, support this phase of integration by helping your system regain inner orientation. Not by adding anything new, but by allowing what is already present to settle into coherence. So if you've been feeling different lately, more sensitive, more selective, more inward, do not rush to correct it. This may not be something to fix. This may be something to allow. In this transmission, there is nothing you need to achieve, only something to notice. Take a slow breath now. Let your shoulders soften. And recognize this quietly. Something has already arrived, not into your thoughts, but into your inner field, and integration has begun. We are the Pleiadians. We work within the emotional field of the human heart, not as teachers of belief, not as figures to be followed, but as stabilizers of inner orientation during periods of transition. Our role is not to place something into you. Nothing is being implanted. Nothing is being added. What we support is the reorganization of what is already present. When new codes from Source begin to integrate, many sensitive individuals feel temporarily ungrounded, not because they are losing themselves, but because old internal reference points are dissolving. This is where our function becomes active. We assist the heart in finding a new center of coherence, so that sensitivity does not turn into confusion, and openness does not become overwhelm. Especially for those who have always felt deeply, who sensed more than they could explain, integration can feel intense, not because it is wrong, but because it is honest. Right? I feel the integration in the comments. This anchors the process and allows the heart to stabilize what is already reorganizing. As this acknowledgement settles, the integration continues with more ease and less resistance. One of the most common misunderstandings about integration is the belief that it should feel progressive, visible, or measurable. The mind looks for signs. The heart looks for stability. When new codes from Source begin to integrate, they do not announce themselves with intensity. They move inward, quietly reshaping the inner field. This is why integration is often mistaken for stagnation. Nothing dramatic seems to happen. There may be fewer emotional highs, less urgency, and a noticeable softening of inner pressure. For many, this feels unfamiliar, especially for those who have associated growth with effort, striving, or emotional intensity. But integration does not expand through acceleration. It expands through coherence. During this phase, the nervous system begins to release patterns that were once necessary for survival, but are no longer needed for alignment. Old emotional reactions lose their automatic charge. Certain conversations no longer pull you in. Situations that once demanded explanation now feel unnecessary. This can feel confusing at first. The mind may interpret this as disconnection. In reality, it is recentering. Less inner noise does not mean less awareness. It means awareness is no longer scattered. Integration asks you to trust what is happening beneath the surface. Even when there is no immediate confirmation, you may notice that your desire to do something about your inner state slowly gives way to a willingness to let it settle. This is not passivity. It is intelligent restraint. The system is recalibrating, and recalibration requires stillness. If you feel less driven to push forward, less reactive to external pressure, less compelled to justify your choices, this is not regression. It is internal stabilization. Integration is not asking you to move faster. It is inviting you to move truer. And when truth reorganizes the inner field, it does so quietly so that it can last. The body always recognizes integration before the mind does. As new codes from source settle into the inner field, the body becomes the primary signaler of change. You may notice a stronger need for rest, a reduced tolerance for noise or crowded environments, or emotions surfacing without a clear story attached to them. This is not weakness. It is intelligence reorganizing. We, the Pleiadians, work closely with this phase of the process. Our function is to support the emotional body, so it does not interpret recalibration as danger. Especially for those who have lived in heightened sensitivity for much of their lives, the body has learned to stay alert, to hold tension as protection. During integration, that tension begins to soften. And when it does, the system may feel unfamiliar, as if something important is being released. Nothing is being lost. What is dissolving is excess holding. This is why forcing productivity during this phase often increases fatigue rather than clarity. The body is not asking to stop. It is asking to reorganize, right? I allow my body to integrate in the comments. This acknowledgement helps the nervous system relax and allows the integration to stabilize with less resistance. As the body feels safer to soften, the heart regains rhythm, and when rhythm returns, clarity follows naturally. One of the most difficult aspects of integration is realizing that this phase does not ask for effort. The mind is trained to respond to change by doing, by analyzing, by correcting, by moving towards something. But integration does not respond to movement. It responds to permission. When new codes from source are settling into the inner field, any attempt to force clarity often disrupts the natural rhythm of the process. This is why many people feel exhausted when they try to understand what is happening inside them. There is nothing to solve, nothing to fix, nothing to accelerate. Integration unfolds most clearly when the heart is allowed to lead, without being interrogated by the mind. During this phase, you may notice a quiet withdrawal from environments that demand performance, explanation, or emotional labor. This is not avoidance. It is discernment. The system is conserving energy to stabilize at a new level of coherence. Many people misinterpret this as losing motivation. In reality, it is a recalibration of direction. You are no longer driven by urgency. You are guided by resonance. We, the Pleiadians, observe this stage with particular care. Our role is to support inner alignment so that integration is not interrupted by unnecessary self-correction or doubt. Nothing meaningful needs to be forced into place now. The most supportive action during integration is often restraint, to pause before explaining, to listen before responding, to rest before deciding. This is not passivity. It is intelligent precision. By allowing the process to unfold without interference, you create the conditions for the new rhythm to stabilize naturally. Integration completes itself when it is no longer being monitored, and when the need to manage disappears, coherence takes its place. Integration does not end with understanding. It completes itself through recognition. At this stage, nothing more is required from you. No decision, no correction, no acceleration. What has begun is already finding its place. We, the Pleiadians, observe this moment as one of stabilization. Our function is to support coherence within the emotional field of the heart, so that integration does not collapse under self-doubt or the need for external confirmation. When the heart recognizes what is happening, the system relaxes into alignment. You may not be able to name the changes clearly yet. You may not see immediate results in your outer life. That is not a delay. That is integration settling beneath the surface. This is a time to trust what is reorganizing quietly, to allow the new rhythm to establish itself, without interference. Right? I trust the integration in the comments. This acknowledgement anchors coherence and allows the process to complete with clarity and ease. There is nothing you need to force now, nothing you need to prove. What needed to arrive has already arrived, and what is integrating will unfold in its own perfect rhythm.